Hey guys, Michael with Mealey Marine, and we are finally done with the baby whaler. This has been a very taxing and difficult build, which you guys have seen through our series. So I just wanted to do a final walkthrough of all the work that we did and how far we've come along. We've really changed this boat into a bass fishing machine. So let's go ahead and get started off. One of the first things we did, actually one of the last things we did, was we rewired the trailer. Guys, it's very important that you have a ground wire. Okay, you do ground through the hitch of your truck, but it's not a very good ground. So be sure you have a ground. We sleeved it, we ran it all the way back, new connectors at the back, and as far as the trailer went, that's pretty much it. We did fix the fenders. The fenders used to be very, very floppy. I mean, you could like lift it up and hit the boat, but now rock solid. And as far as the trailer goes, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead, let's start talking about the boat. We'll hop back up here to the front. And as you guys can see, we put a Motor Guide XI5. This is a 45-inch shaft, 24 volt. I don't know the thrust, I think it's 70 something, maybe 50. So we went ahead and we mounted it here. This was already on the boat, so we decided to use it, but we had to reinforce it. We machined these custom rods, and now I can pretty much pick the whole boat up by the trolling motor, which I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys got a fancy bass boat, you can't do that. You could not pick your boat up by your trolling motor. So that turned out really nice. We have a Lowrance HTS 9 Live networked into this trolling motor and the transducer, and this has spot lock or whatever their version is of it. So that's a really nice addition. He'll be able to control his whole trolling motor. And where Mitch likes to fish is a oxbow, so he can just like set a trail, you know, before work and hop in and just let the trolling motor take him around, and he can fish his little oxbow lake. Now, one of the most obvious things you guys probably saw is these LED lights. This was one of the most difficult parts, is figuring out how to mount these where we could take them on and off, but still look functional and look good and all that. So we decided to go with these stainless steel rods. The other side might be a little bit better representation. So we have this curved one piece. You can mount all three of them. We got these motorcycle clamps off of Amazon, and you just take these two bolts off. The wires are just ran up here along the deck, and it runs to this box. This box has power. Now, all of this, guys, is per customer request. So, as my dad says, I don't want to hear about it in the comments, okay? This is what the customer wanted. So we just make customer dreams come true here at Mealey Marine. So you can just simply take this off, take your lights off, put them away when you're not using them, and you're good to go. Now, the deck. The original deck ended right about here, and then the whole rest of it was open. So we built a nice subframe underneath. We have 3/4 inch plywood that's epoxied, a seat post base right there, and then we built 3 lockers. Now, I'm really proud of this area. I think the original plan was just to go all the way to the back, leave some storage space down here for some rods, but that's a lot of wasted space. So we decided to come up with this locker situation we got, and we got 3 trays. All right, these 2 side trays will only go down so far, so you can get rods up under here. Let's say, you know, he can put an oar up in here, or a paddle, and some life jackets or whatever is throwable, and then he can put, I mean, tons and tons of 3700 series boxes in that center console or center compartment. They're all gas strutted, and they all are hinged. So that came out really nice. Moving on back, this was already in the boat, but it was actually turned the other way, so the cooler was facing that way. But we recommended that he keep it because it gets hot. Like, it's really hot out here right now. So we kept it so he can have a area to put his ice chest. And then, like I said, we have an opening here for your rods to go in. Now you're going, Michael, how do I fit my rods in there? Mitch has two really young, or I think more than two young kids, and they were breaking too many rods, right? So Hugh keeps having to sell him castaway rods. If you need castaway rods, please hit up Hugh. So we wanted somewhere where we could store the rods, where the kids wouldn't just step on them, but be functional and have space and all that. So we came up with this idea where you open this compartment, you slide your rods in, you can put them in here. You put the butt ends here, or the reels here, and boom, there you go. You still have a lot of space back here in the back to fish off of, but your stuff is more concealed. It's not just laying there. It's up against the side of the boat, and it's very, very clean. So I guess we're moving on back. We did put a front panel that's starboard plastic. It'll hold up really nice, and I think it was a nice little finishing touch. Moving on back to the back, like I said, this lid and that lid are gas strutted. These three are not. So this one's strictly rod storage, and then this is just extra storage back here in the back. Everything is hinged with stainless steel hinges, Perco latches. It's turned out really nice. We had already pretty much got done with all the carpeting. We were going to put a gas tank in here, and it was going to go in this compartment, and that's why this compartment opens this way, so that you can fill your boat up outside the boat, right? But we ended up not putting a gas tank in, and that's why that's not there. So that's it for over here. Now here at Mealey Marine, I think you guys know that we pride ourselves on our electrical skills and our ability to problem solve and build really cool stuff. And I think we came up with a really cool control panel here. I would say like flush mounted or recess mounted this Perco switch. This is his main power for everything on the boat except the trolling motor. We have our trolling motor circuit breaker here, and then we have our fuse panel. Everything's labeled, and maybe all of them are fused. I probably shouldn't have done that because I'm not going to be able to get it back on. And all of the individual wires are labeled. They're color coded, so if anything were to happen down the road and Mitch needs to problem solve himself or us, we'll be able to easily identify what's going on. And you might be wondering, Michael, what's this? This is a plug for his chargers for his 2 Dakota lithium batteries. Mealey Marine is in the top 1% of all Dakota sales in the nation. So if you need your Dakota lithium battery, please be sure to hit us up at mealeymarine.com. So we made him this little Doge connector. Simply plug it in when he's not using it. It's tethered so he won't lose it. I think it's a nice little touch. So the reason why we did this, and somebody commented in the comments, why didn't you just use a NOCO 2-to-1 plug, is because Dakota lithium chargers are only dry use chargers, so you have to take the charger out with you. So if you got one of those NOCO 2-to-1 plugs, it really wouldn't do anything for you because you still have to take them out. So that's why we did it. So this is a 4-pin douche connector, douche connector, whatever you want to call it, and he can only plug it in one way. So 24 volt is on one side, 12 volt is on the other. It goes to the batteries underneath there, and it charges them up, and it works because I tested it. Up under here is pretty much the brains. You can't really see it. On that side is the access panel to get to it, and you can get to it from the back. But we got 2 Dakota lithiums, like I said, a 12 volt 23 amp to run his graph. That's pretty much it, and his nav lights, and a 24 volt 50 some odd amp for his trolling motor. And we have this panel here which has a dual USB cigarette lighter, voltage for the 12 volt, and then nav and anchor, and then bilge. I don't know if they're in that order, but we did put a bilge here in the back. Kind of skipped over that. Just a simple automatic bilge, so this cycles every minute or so, and because I couldn't put a float, there's not enough room to put a float here, and we had to put that through hole fitting. So guys, I think that's it. That's pretty much a full walkthrough of this boat. I'm really happy with it. I think it came out very, very nice, and I really hope that Mitch gets to enjoy the boat as much as we enjoyed working on it. And if you guys need your boats worked on, if you need a full restoration or build like this, please be sure to hit us up. I'll put the number to the shop down below. You can also email us, and we'll be happy to help you and make your boating dreams come true. Until next time, guys.